Hello Cancer, this is your August 16th to August 31st, 2016 read. For the main read, I'm going to use the Shadowscapes Tarot by Stephanie Poo-Moon-La. And for, that's heavy, I wonder what's still in there. The advice cards, the Saints and Angels Oracle card deck by Doreen Virtue. Decks have already been pre-shuffled for normal. So let's just get these right out here and get right to it. I'm doing it a little bit differently this time, just to see if I can get a little better way of conveying the information. I don't know why. We have a couple cards popping out here. Got some busy things going on here. Okay. We're starting right off in the beginning. You're in a good place in the beginning of this month. We're starting out with the Sun, which is a great card. And the way I read these cards is I look at them personally and see what I'm seeing. And I see that you're very much involved with people around you. I feel like you're enjoying social times with people around you. For example, if you have a child or a partner or something like that, you're very much enjoying the fruits of their labor. Like they've done something quite significant, and you're quite proud of them, and you're living in that joy right now. I'm getting that very strongly from this card. Oddly enough, around you, I feel like there's some stress with the people around you. I almost feel like that maybe that same person is hiding a little bit of stress they're going through. They are doing really well, but I feel like there's a lot of stress going on for them that you're not aware of quite yet. Yet that's going to come forward in a moment. Because I do feel like once that spot's in, you got a couple things going on here. There's like a trio of cards here that popped out together. The way you're affecting the situation is you're like the master of communication, but you're also thinking things through. You're trying to help this person, because like I feel like soon after you're admiring them and you're like giving them accolades, soon after they let you in and let you know exactly what's happening on their side and where they're not as happy as they want to be, because things are a little out of balance for them. They may feel a bit overwhelmed. I feel like that initial information kind of shocks you, and you may say some things off the cuff that you really don't feel, but I feel like you may be taken back, because you're not expecting it. I feel like it almost becomes a slight argument when they try to tell you how they feel, or they're trying to downplay it a little bit, and you feel like they're downplaying their accolades or their accomplishments, and you don't really like that. So you kind of push back, telling them, no, you're doing great. And they're like, no, I'm not. And there's kind of a little rubbing against the grain there, if that's the word I want to use. Conflict. Here we go into the next part, though. I'm seeing like the Seven of Swords, which I feel like right after this, like you get the clue, because this is definitely someone you care about greatly. Like, you need just a moment to like kind of process what they said. It might even be during that confrontation near the end of it that you're kind of like, oh, okay, all right, well, and then I feel like you have like a positive outlook for them, and like you kind of tell them you'll help them. Although I feel like when you tell them you'll help them, you don't really know how you're going to do that, because you actually really thought things were going well. And there's a couple, like this card, you'll see it looks like he's thinking. It looks like there's a darker figure down here. It looks like they're thinking. You'll notice the bird up here is ready to fly and happy and going towards the sun, or the moon in this one, depending on the situation. It looks more like the moon with the darkness around it, but I'm feeling more like the sun energy because we just came from that. But I feel like you're thinking things out. You're kind of holding back what you're feeling and thinking, but you're trying to also help them figure it out. That's kind of where we are right now. As we keep going, your influence has a great impact on the social side, on the environmental side, not you directly, but for the person you're dealing with. It goes right into justice. And again, depending on what I'm seeing in the card is how I read it. This one, I'm seeing a lot of butterflies flying around here, so I feel like you've given them a lot of input, and in this case, I'm feeling like you inspired them to find a better way to do things. You may have given them enough hints or clues to help them figure out things in their way, because I feel like whatever is going on, I don't feel like you're directly involved with it. You're seeing it from the outside, and you're quite impressed with how they're handling it. I really don't feel like it's something you normally handle, though. But you kind of give suggestions and try to help. And those suggestions you give inspire this person to make these changes or find different ways. Like, you're inspiring them to help them figure it out, and it works. You don't have the exact, this is what you need to do situation that you can explain to them, but you do tell them, like, what about this? What about that? And they're like, they think about it for a while, and they're like, well, I can't exactly do that, but if I do this and that, it kind of gets me that same result, that type of thing. A lot of little changes that you inspire, things going around. You're very helpful with that, definitely. I do feel you become more of a stable staple. Like, when that little confrontation comes through, it's just because you're shocked, and you're just kind of like, you feel like they're downplaying their success until they finally make it quite apparent, like, no, it's not as good as you think. I feel like you're very supportive. We then go into this next realm here, and because it's a general read, I'm more feeling it's about the energy that you're portraying. I feel like you're very stable and dedicated, and you're helping them continue. Like, those little changes that they've told you about that you've inspired, you're very supportive with that. And you're like, you don't really understand exactly what they're going to do. They've kind of given you a bit of it, but you're very supportive, and you give a lot of support to what they want to do, and that keeps going forward for you. That continues on. I know the Queen of Pentacles is more of an emotional. The King of Pentacles is more of the, like, making the plan, typically. He's more stable in the ground, in the roots. But I'm feeling, in this sense, it's more of continuing of the same energy. I feel like you're very supportive and keeping the boat afloat, for lack of a better term. Even though this is now the Queen instead of the King, I feel like it's the same energy. I feel like you're very supportive. You didn't realize it was going on, and now that you've helped them figure it out, and they're going forward, you're very much supporting them in that. You know what, let me just flip out a couple cards here. Alright, now, and, you know what, we're going to do 4. I wasn't expecting. There's one card from the Shadowscapes that I didn't show you yet. That was after the Justice on the outside for the people around you, whoever this person may be, excuse me. The next card is the King of Cups, reversed. Now, I think what the situation here is, because what I'm feeling is it's not really that, it's not that things are going wrong. I feel like the change that you inspired is a good thing, and it's helping things work out. I also feel like this person is resistant, even though you helped them do it, and they're actually, I feel like they're going forward with those changes. I just feel like it's very uncomfortable for them while they're changing over to this other way to make things work out. And you're very dedicated. The way that you're supporting them and encouraging them is helping them move forward. It's very healing for them, and this card came out right next to it. So I feel like you're very much helping them. They might be a little cranky, a little bratty, for lack of a better word, a little out of sorts, because it's not really how they wanted to do it, but the way that you help them figure out makes it work, helps it work, and works out. So they may be a little cranky. I feel like the word bratty keeps coming up, like, just, you know, just like it's not the way I wanted to do it. But it's a good thing, and they're just going to sort it out. They just need a moment, because I feel like they had a lot of stress built up behind this before it came to fruition, and you kind of helped them figure it out. So they're kind of venting that pent-up stress, and they're kind of letting that go. And you're very dedicated. I feel like you catch a bit of it, but you're like, okay, and you just kind of let it roll off your back, because I feel like you know this person well enough that you recognize it for what it is. But they're healing, they're going forward, it's going to be fine. You're very dedicated to that person. When I see this card, excuse me, it always depends on what situation we're dealing with. I mean, clearly it says marriage, but it's also like a marriage of relationships. In my mind, it's a dedication you have for that person, and you feel that person has for you. And you're very dedicated to this person. Whoever this is, whether it be a partner, a child, a friend, whatever relation, like family it might be, you are in it for the long haul. And that's what this is pulling in strongly. It definitely could be a relationship, a romantic relationship. I'm personally not getting that. In this case, the way I'm interpreting this card, it's a dedicated, you're in their life, they're in your life, and you have no plans for that to change ever. Like, ever. Also, this card came out with that trio, if I can pick that all up at once here, so you can see it. This trio, where you kind of say some things, and maybe they're not the best way of saying things, or you're kind of caught off guard. The way you say it, while it may not be the most diplomatic, it spars the ball. It gets the ball moving. It gets that person to talk. Like, of course, you don't want to be really, really nasty, of course, but you say your piece, and it may get a little out of hand, or you may say some things a little out of turn, but it creates that next part. So don't, as long as you're not too bad, I wouldn't feel too bad about it, because it's a wise decision. In other words, you need to say what you're saying, because, like, I feel like you're going to come across like, well, you let me feel like it was all good. Like, what do you mean it's not all good? Like, I feel like you're just kind of going to pass it back to them, like, well, why did you let me think everything was great if it's not great? So that works out good in your favor as well. I feel for you, though, in the long run, it's going to be a peaceful resolution. Everything's going to work out. You're very stable in this. I feel like you're very caring. That, like, I feel like that's why that wise decision comes out, and you're the High Priestess reversed, because you don't understand what's happening, and you may just kind of vent a little bit on them and kind of snip them a bit. But it creates a change, and this person means a lot to you, and you're very much dedicated to them and sticking it out, and you're going to help them make it through. Even if they want to walk away and ditch the project, you see it for what it is and realize, no, that's not a wise decision. We need to keep going, and you have that dedication to keep them going. You keep edging them on. They may be a little bratty about it, like I said, but hey, I'm really seeing that, like, you're keeping the peace, you're keeping things going. I feel like it's important. I feel like this, for some reason, is coming through as drive for me. I'm feeling like this, you're kind of feeding this person to keep them going. You're definitely keeping the peace more in the end. Like, but the whole thing is, it's better for this person to keep doing what they're doing. And they are good at it. It's just they had to change. Something had to change, and you pointed it out. And I feel like you're looking at it as like, no, this is a good resolution. We need to keep going. And you're keeping things going. You're keeping things going in a good keel. I feel like this is moving forward. I just feel like you're keeping the situation in a good place. So when peace comes up for this, peaceful, I feel like you're keeping the whole situation together. You're keeping everything working like a well-oiled machine by putting your input in and encouraging them to keep going, even if they don't want to, because you see the farther goal, where you may not understand exactly what they're doing, or why, or how they're doing what they're doing, or exactly maybe it's not something you could do yourself, but you are seeing the benefit for them to keep going. All right, that is your August 16th, 2016 to August 31st, 2016 read. Any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them below, or if you would like a personal read from me, go ahead and shoot me an email at jamesforastral@gmail.com, James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you very much.